Hey, hello, phys ed folks. Welcome to another episode of what we're going to be learning today in phys ed. Hey, this is a really important video today because I'm going to tell you all the stuff that you're going to have due this week. You have quite a bit of work to do this week. Unfortunately, we're at midterms, and so it's midterm time. And so let's just go ahead and kick it off and talk about that. Hey, no more fitness logs for weeks 1 through 4. Done, finished, nada, no more. So thank you for those that turned them in. Not a bad turnout. There's quite a few that still didn't get those in, but hey, keep working on your fitness logs for weeks 5 through 8. Speaking of which, you should now be on week 6 of 5 through 8 starting tomorrow. Okay, so we've done week 5 was last week, and now you should be on week 6 of your fitness logs, okay? This week, the work that you need to do, write this down, get a piece of paper out, whatever, however you need to help you with this, but you have your midterm exam. It's due on Sunday, November 13th, okay? I will probably give you 1 or 2 extra days, but the box will probably be shut down a couple days after the 13th, but you won't be able to turn that in any longer. So get that done. And then your midterm fitness assessment test. You should be starting those right now, especially on a day like this. It's beautiful outside. Get out there, go run the mile so you can have the mile done. And then do some sit-ups. You're going to do sit-ups again, as many as you can, until you can't do any more. Push-ups again, as many as you can until you can't do any more. Do your V sit and reach. Remember, if you measure past your toes, that's positive number. If you can't reach your toes, that's negative number. If you reach to your toes, that's 0. Okay, so you're going to measure those in inches. If you did in centimeters, that's fine. Okay. And then you're going to recheck your BMI by using the formula that I have posted in the area where you're going to get your midterm midterm test paper, where you're going to log everything down. So you have to go through all those tests again, see if you've met your goal from when you set them the pre-tests. Okay, then you're going to set a new goal for your post-test. Okay, so the last goal that you're setting now is going to be your post-test goal, which will be at the end of the semester. Okay, so that's midterm tests are due and midterm fitness tests are due. Okay, they're due by the 13th. And I'll shut down that box too, probably a day or 2 after the due date. Okay. We are trying to see that if you are going to be improving on your test. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you met your goals or surpassed them. If you met them, rewrite a new goal. If you surpassed them, rewrite a new goal. If you didn't reach them, then you can keep the same goal. Okay? You should be trying to do sets and reps. I mean, I put this on a lot of people's feedback of push-ups and sit-ups and squats and lunges. You could do like 3 sets of 10 squats and lunges every day. You could do that. It doesn't take very long out of your life to do 3 sets of 10 squats and lunges. You can do 3 sets of 30-second plank holds and wall sits, okay, every day. That doesn't take a long time either. And then you can do like, I don't know, 3 sets of 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups based on how strong your upper body is every day. And you can also do like 3 sets of 20 sit-ups every day, or 3 sets of 10 or 15 sit-ups every day. So then you're getting some muscular strength, you're getting some muscular endurance in there, you're getting some activity in there. You could do that like after every hour of doing work. Do work for an hour, stop, take a break. Maybe go walk around, do your sit-ups, do your push-ups, do your squats, your lunges, and then get back to work again and you feel a little bit more refreshed and energized. Okay? So those are just some ideas that I throw out to you guys of how to get some physical activity in. And if you see the recommendation is 30 minutes a day, it doesn't necessarily 30 or 60 minutes a day. You don't have to do all that 30 or 60 minutes in one session. You can break it up throughout the day. This week, besides the midterm exam and the midterm fitness tests, you also have a lab to do. There is no discussion. So this is the first and only week that we won't have a discussion due. But you do have a lab to do because the lab is very important and it talks about target heart rates and finding your target heart rates. And this week we're going to find out why it's important to know your target heart rate and how to find your heart rate. Okay. And for this assignment, you are also going to have to know your resting heart rate, and we're going to talk about that in a second. The other thing that's due is your journal entries. They are all extra credit now, remember. So if you didn't do them, don't worry about it. But if you want extra credit, what you need to do in order to do these is you had to do 2.02, 2.03, 2.04, 2.05, 3.02, 3.03, and 3.04. There were 7. 5 points each, and you get 35 extra credit points if you do them all. To find them, they used to be listed on pages, but I guess now they're links to them. So when you click on content and you click on Unit 2, if you look at 2.02 reading, you'll see a link to the reading, and then if you look down, you'll see another link to the journal questions. And you could do that for 2.02, 3, 4, 5, 3.02, 3, and 4. You just click on that lesson, 3.03 maybe, and then you scroll down and you'll see journal questions for 3.03, okay, and 3.04. So that's how you find those. If you have questions on those, just email me where to find those, okay? I think that's it for all that. Okay, for all that. So now let's take a look at the PowerPoint. We're going to go over the PowerPoint and what you guys need to know for this week. Okay. So you're going to learn to find your pulse in three different areas. Okay, so there's 3 places that you can find your pulse. So you're going to need to do this, and you're going to need to know how to do this. So the first place is your carotid artery. So to find that, you're going to go right below your ear. You see this jawbone, your lower mandible bone, and you're going to slide into a little groove there. And you press up and in. Okay, and you should feel a heartbeat there. Okay. Now the carotid is the most important place, or the best way to find your heart rate, because it is a larger artery and it's where the blood passes after it releases the heart. So it's easier, it's most used in the medical field to find. Sometimes they'll find it in your brachial artery too. If they don't want to touch you up here, they'll find it here. They'll find it in the brachial. Okay, so I'll turn around like this. This is your brachial. Here's your thumb. So right below your thumb and in your wrist area, you can find your brachial. So that's the second place to find. That's your radial. Sorry. Radial. Radius and ulna are down here. So that's why it's called the radial. So this is your radial pulse. Okay. This is the second most common place to find it. And the third one is in your brachial, which is a little bit harder to find, and it's a little bit more faint, but it's going to be below the bicep area. Okay. And you'll feel a light pulse there. In the PowerPoint, you'll see I show you 3 different pictures too of where they find it. So radial, carotid, and brachial. Brachial's in here. Okay, so those are the 3 different places. So what is heart rate? Okay, so basically heart rate is simply the number of times your heart beats in 1 minute. Okay, I'm gonna try to get my other computer out. Oh, it's not gonna work. Never mind. So you can check it for 1 full minute. Okay, that's the most accurate way. So if you're going to check your carotid artery, you can sit here with a timer, put on your cell phone, and time yourself for 1 minute. And whatever number you get is the number of beats that your heart beats in 1 minute. Okay, and or you can do it where you check it for 10 seconds and then you multiply by 6. So say you got you're checking it, you got 16 in 10 seconds, and then you multiply that by 6, and then you'll have 9. That would be 96 beats a minute. And then you can also take it for 6 seconds and multiply it by 10. So you can sit here and you just check your heart rate for 6 seconds, and then you'll multiply by 10. So say you got 10, and that's 6 seconds. You multiply that by 10, and you get 100. Okay. So I want you to practice that. I want you to practice finding your heart rate in your carotid area. If you can't find it in the carotid, then go ahead and do it in the radial area, where you hold just right here, and you can time yourself. Look at your cell phone to time yourself. Okay. It's a little bit fainter there, but it might be easier for some of you to find it there, okay? You have 3 different heart rates, and I would like you to find your resting heart rate. You're going to need to find that on 3 consecutive days for your lab. Okay, so the resting heart rate is the max amount of beats that your heart does at rest. So this is the best time to check this is first thing in the morning when you don't have an alarm clock waking you up, you don't have anybody coming in and shaking you to wake you up, no dog licking your face or cat pawing at you. Okay, because that's going to get your heart rate up. Okay, so this is just like first thing in the morning, you wake up out of a sleep, you roll out, you probably have your cell phones by your bed, which you shouldn't. But if you do, that's where you want to start checking it. And so go ahead and just sit there. You can even sit there. You can even do it for 30 seconds if you want, and just multiply by 2. Okay, so and just sit there, check your resting heart rate, and do this for 3 consecutive days. Okay, and you're going to write down that number because you need it. Okay. So remember, finding your resting heart rate, you can use it in the carotid or the radial. You can check it for 1 full minute. You can check it for 6 seconds and then multiply by 10, or you can check it for 10 seconds and multiply by 6. Okay, so you have different ways. Read the PowerPoint. It will help you understand this. Maximum heart rate. This is the maximum amount of beats your heart can is going to do when you are working out. Like this is like if you were to work out at your maximum heart rate, you would probably pass out. Okay, so you don't really do this. You work out at a certain zone, and that's why we call it the target heart rate zone. Okay, so your maximum heart rate is found by taking 220 minus your age. Okay, so when you take a look at mine, okay, so if I want to find my maximum heart rate, okay, I would take 220 minus 43 equals, so there's my max, oh, you can't see it. Yep, there you go. There's my maximum heart rate, 220 minus my age, so it's 177 is my maximum heart rate. Your guys' is going to be a lot different. So if you're 17, so 220 minus 17, you're going to have 203, okay, so yours is going to be a lot higher than mine. And you should always work out in a certain zone. It's called your target heart rate zone. That's 60% to 80 or 85% of your maximum heart rate. Okay? And we're going to find that. We're going to find that today. So I want you to take out a piece of paper. I want you to do 220 minus your age. And then when you get that number, like me, okay, so I've got 177, and I'm going to take 177, and I'm going to times it by 0.6. So there it is, 106.2. I know it's backwards for you. It's probably backwards for you guys. I don't know. 106.2. That's my low end of my zone. Okay? That's 60% of my maximum heart rate of 177. Then I'm going to take 177 and times it by 0.8. And I get about 141.6. I'll round that up to 142. So my zone is 107 to 142 beats a minute. If I'm keeping in that zone, I'm getting a good cardio workout, a good muscular endurance workout, okay? So that's what you guys should be trying to get in when you're doing a cardio workout, such as biking or running or speed walking, not walking. Remember, walking's not cardio unless you're doing speed walking, okay? So there's the 3 different heart rates. Resting, okay? Take that first thing in the morning when you wake up on your own. Maximum heart rate, 220 minus your age. Okay, and then finding your target heart rate zone, that's taking 220 minus your age and taking that number, that max heart rate number, and multiplying by 0.6 and 0.8 or 0.85. Okay. Now, if you are just beginning to work out, 0.6 and 0.8 might be too high. Try 0.4 and 0.6. Okay, and give yourself a little bit of a different zone. Okay. I think that's that. You can read over some info on target heart rate. Okay, so basically, the more you work out, the stronger your heart's going to be, and the stronger your heart is, the less amount of times it has to beat in order to get you oxygenated blood to your muscles. Your goal of that is to try to get a stronger heart. You want a stronger heart. You want a lower resting heart rate. Okay, so Why should we care about our target heart rate is because if you're exercising at that 0.60 to 0.8 or that 60 to 80% of your max heart rate, okay, you have the chance to reduce risk of heart disease and diabetes 2 and stroke and certain cancers. You can keep high cholesterol away and lower your blood pressure. Okay, you can control your weight, and when you control weight, you gain confidence in yourself. You lower cholesterol and high blood pressure. And exercise can also help reduce stress, anxiety. It can help you feel happier. It can help you get better sleep at night, which so many of you wrote down that you wish that you can have, okay, is better sleep. And it can help get rid of that anxiety that you might feel. And any exercise that you can do during the day is better than no exercise at all, okay? So get out there and try to get some exercise done for yourself, okay? It's so important, even if, like I said, you just get in 10 minutes every hour, okay? That's great. Now we're going to talk about two different, there's two different ways to find your target heart rate zone. We're gonna use in the lab a totally different formula besides the 220 minus your age one, okay, because that one's not really personal. It's just basically going to give you a zone, just like if all 17-year-olds are going to be in this certain zone, all 15-year-olds will be in this certain zone. But technically, your resting heart rate is going to make the zone more personal to you. And so we're going to use a formula called the Karvonen formula, okay? And so on slide 11 and 12, I really want you to focus on those two slides for your lab this week, okay? 11 and 12 are huge, and because 11 is going to show you the formula and 12 is going to take you through how I used it with mine, so you can see exactly how to use that formula, okay? And so we're going to do that in the lab, and so it's going to be really big. So I'm going to have you also take out your lab, and so you can work on that with me. So you can read about the heart and physical activity. I have a picture of the heart in there so you can see the traveling of blood, oxygenated and deoxygenated blood through the heart. We can talk about intensity. There's intensity in there, and then I'm going to go over the lab right now with you guys, okay? So you can see heart rate's important, knowing your heart rate, because if you're in that zone, if you're working out in that specific zone, it's so good for your body, and there's so many benefits of it. If you're working below the zone, you're not working hard enough. You try to work harder to get yourself maybe just at the low end of that zone. If you're working above it, okay, above that zone, you're working too hard, kind of taper off your workouts a little bit, okay? I don't want you to work too hard, and I don't want you to not work hard enough. Okay, so we're going to look at the lab. So if you have your lab, go ahead and open that up now. Okay, so we can work on this together. The only thing that you really kind of can't work on is you're supposed to take your resting heart rate in 3 consecutive days. So I took mine in 3 consecutive days. So the first day I got a 58. The second day I got 62. And the third day I got 56. Okay, so a little bit different, and I think because the second day what I did was I went outside and cleaned up after my dogs, and so I was walking around, which I shouldn't have done. I should have just taken my heart rates right when I woke up and not worried about doing anything else yet, okay? So then you're going to take those 3, you're going to add them together, so 58, 62, 56, and divide by 3. Okay, so I divide by 3, so my average heart rate was 58 beats a minute. And that's what I use for this lab. Okay, then number 2 says figure your maximum heart rate, show your work. So this is just the typical 220 minus your age. Okay, so you're going to take 220 minus your age. So if you are 16, it'd be 220 minus 16, which would be 204. Okay, so for me, I did 220 minus my age, and I got 177. Okay, then figure your target heart rate using the standard zone, the 0.6 and the 0.8. Okay, so I'm going to find my target heart rate zone just using the standard zone. 177.6, 177 times 0.8. So my zone is 106 to 142. So the low end of my zone, I should be at 106 beats a minute when I'm working cardio, and the high end would be 142. So, and then it says, what is your current level of activity? Do you think target heart rate listed above is appropriate for your current level? And I said, I'm currently in great shape. I have a low resting heart rate since I work my heart and lungs 4 times a week with high intensity because I do CrossFit. Which if you ever want to do CrossFit, just please come and ask me because my gym gives you guys an opportunity to come in while I'm coaching. So just a side tip. I think that the zone is a little low because I work out harder than my upper end. Usually my heart rate after I check it from a CrossFit workout is 150 to 160. So I'm a little bit higher. Okay, and then number 5 is going to tell you to open up a search engine to find the Carvonen formula, or you can just use the one that I put. It's the same formula that I put in the PowerPoint. Okay, so with this, you're going to find your heart rate reserve. Okay, so how you do that is you're going to take the 220 minus your age, okay, and you got that number, okay, that target heart rate zone number. Then now you're going to take that and subtract your resting heart rate. Okay, so the resting heart rate number was the one that you found when you divided by 3. So mine was 58. So I'm going to take 177 minus 58, okay, and then I get 119. Okay, so 119 is my target heart rate reserve. Okay, so that's the number that I'm going to be using a lot. So now I have to find my new zone. So I take 119 and I times by 0.6, okay, and then I'm going to add back my resting heart rate. Okay, so 177 minus 58, which is my resting heart rate, equals my reserve. Okay, so just think about those two things. Okay, so now I'm going to take 119, because that's my target heart rate reserve number, times it by 0.6, and then add my resting heart rate back. Okay, so there's the 119, okay, times 0.6 plus 58 equals 159. Sorry, 129. Can't even read my own writing. 129. All right, so my new end is 120. My new low end is 129. Then I'm going to take 119 again, my resting heart rate reserve, times 0.8. I'm going to add my resting heart rate back, and I'm going to get 153. Okay, so now my new zone is 129 to 153. It's quite a bit difference than my target heart rate, 106 to 150. I think it was 106 to 150. Or no, 142, sorry. Okay, so there it is. My Carvonen is the 129 to 153, and my target heart rate zone was 106 to 142. So as you can see, it was quite a difference in there. And then it says, how similar are your target heart rate zones using the standard 220 minus your age times the 0.6 and the 0.8, and the Carvonen formula using your resting heart rate. When I used my resting heart rate, the formulas went up. So I went from 106 on my low end to 129, and I went from 142 to 153. Okay, so that's what you're going to use for the first 6 on questions on your lab. The second part of your lab, you are going to find the maximum heart rate and target heart rate of 3 different people, just using the regular 220 minus your age zone. Okay, so that's all you're going to do. Okay, and then you're going to type the answer there for person A, B, and C. Then number 3, part 3 says, and question number 8, is you're going to do 3 different activities. Okay, you can do them on 3 different days. Heart rate when walking at a moderate pace, 3 to 5 minutes. Heart rate when climbing stairs at a moderate pace. And if you have you could just do step up on your curb. Okay, so you could just do that for like 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, and then you're going to find your heart rate when jumping rope with a double-footed hop. Okay, if you don't have a jump rope, you can just do air jumps for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, or just a couple minutes. Okay, so you do heart rate. You find your heart rate. Okay, when walking at a moderate pace for 3 to 5 minutes. Find your heart rate when you're climbing stairs. Okay, or you can use the curb as your stairs outside. Okay, and then your heart rate when you're jumping rope. Okay, and you can do air jump ropes. Then you're going to tell me what activity was your heart rate the highest? Which activity was your heart rate the lowest? And then that's the end of your lab. Pretty easy, okay? And I'm just going to guess that your heart rate's going to be the highest when you're probably jumping rope. It's probably going to be the lowest when you're walking, okay? And so then you can see that walking's not really a cardio activity unless you're speed walking, okay? And that's it for today, guys. If you don't have any questions, sorry this video took very long, but I wanted to make sure that you understood the lab and how to do it. But if you don't have any other questions, then that's fine. Don't forget, midterm fitness tests are due this week, the 13th of November. Midterm exam, okay? The lab, 3.04 lab. And if you have your journals for extra credit, those are all due. So quite a bit of work this week, but go ahead and get started today on that stuff. And there's no discussion. And like I said, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to call me, email me, text me, come see me at IQ. Mountain View Kids, come see me Tuesday between 8 and 12:30 at Mountain View. Okay? Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go Jets.